So we're going to take a look at other news making headlines at this hour. We're in fact shining a spotlight on education. We're looking at the class of 2023. The matriculants, in fact, eagerly awaiting for the results. We're going to be looking at ways of dealing with stress, anxiety, and just how one best prepares for the transition from high school to tertiary. So Dr. Laura Fisher, Head of Institutional Advancement at Boston City Campus, now joins us via video link to unpack these developments. Dr. Laura Fisher, good afternoon, and thank you for your time with us here on the SABC at this hour.
Good afternoon to you.
Let's look at the class of 2023 and look at some of the challenges that they had to contend with, but also the strides that have been taken. What have you observed throughout the year?
Well, I mean, every matriculating year has their own challenges to deal with. I think that we had a particularly challenging year. We have demonstrated hard work, determination and resilience despite the odds. And I just want to congratulate and applaud the learners as well as the teachers for the matric results this last year.
And so at this point, as we, matriculants are waiting for the results, there's a natural transition that's also going to ensue. And I wonder if you could speak to making that more seamless from high school into higher institutions of learning. What are some of those tips to ease the adjustment process?
Yeah, I mean, transitioning from high school to tertiary education is certainly a significant life change. And there's naturally stress and anxiety during this period of adjustment. And as I said, the matrics of last year, or 2023, I think have had to already really build their grit and their determination in facing their final exams, but they need to continue to dig deep into their support networks and embrace their change gradually. Acknowledging and embracing change gradually helps you to understand that, you can feel a sense of excitement, and with that excitement comes a bit of anxiety and an opportunity to familiarize yourself with the new environment, with new academic expectations for yourself and new social dynamics. So digging into your support networks, prioritizing self-care, prioritizing your mental health, and then obviously making critical life choices in terms of what to study next is really about educating yourself about your options, which I know when you open up your matrics, you will see, where some of your strengths are, where some of your limitations are, and these strengths that you see shining through in your reports will be guidelines or guideposts to you that light up the path for the way that you should walk in terms of going into either an online course or into qualifications such as a degree. So I think that at this time it's really important to, if you don't have an application in to a university, to really make some critical decisions about your future and to accept that you're in a very exciting time of your life, and not to put too much academic pressure on yourself, also to congratulate yourself and to take a pause for the hard work that you have engaged with, but also to look forward to what's next in your journey.
Well, absolutely, and perhaps you could also speak to the significance then of choosing the right course as a student, also the environment, even the skills gaps that the country requires at large. And also, if, a higher institution of learning isn't an option, how else do we also best explore some of the additional options available?
Yeah, I think that it's important to say that it can be quite overwhelming, particularly if you are one of those people who hasn't had a very focused sense of this is what I want to do post-school. It can be quite overwhelming to look at the extent and range of available courses that there are out there. I mean, Boston City Campus, where I work, is just one example of an institution of higher education that offers a range of different courses across multiple disciplines, and making a decision about which discipline to go into and which career path to take is obviously a critical one, and it should be taken very mindfully. There is, as we know, some serious challenges with our employment rates. And so the more you can gain theoretical knowledge, but also have an opportunity to apply that knowledge within the workplace environment, those sorts of things are really, really crucial as you look forward to your future. If you don't have the results that you've expected from your matric or your national senior certificate exams, I think it's really important for me to encourage you that there are many ways to make yourself more eligible for the qualification that you do wish to study. And for example, you can look at higher certificates which can be completed in 1 year, which don't necessarily always require the same advanced level of mark allocation as perhaps entry into a degree or even a diploma. So higher certificates provide basic entry skills, and then there's also short courses that you can take, or you can actually get yourself into the world of work and start gaining some experience, which is absolutely critical.
Dr. Fisher, what about the psychosocial support that's also needed on that front? How do you think we're faring in, supporting learners making that transition, just as we look at empowering the learner holistically and also developing their skills?
I think that it is something that we as a country really do have to take very seriously, and that is the mental health of our young people. The state of mental health in South Africa is not one that is particularly good at the moment, and hasn't been for quite a long time. So the opportunities that higher educational institutions afford learners is access to student support services, and to greater or lesser extents, most universities and private colleges will offer student support, and I think that that is something that students should really leverage if they feel that they are struggling with any form of mental health challenge. I think also within your communities, within your families, to reach out, not to be silent about struggles that you might have inside, but to reach out for help and to acknowledge that we don't walk through this life alone. We walk together in community. That's in our blood, it's in our DNA as South Africans. So let's hold hands together and let's walk together, because we're stronger together than we are as individual isolates. Right. And I think, I'll leave it there.
Thank you. Well, let's see the conversation there. Of course, on Thursday, the IB is set to release the results. The matriculants will know how they're faring and really what the options available are at that point. But thank you for your time with us on the SABC at this hour. Dr. Laura Fisher, she's the Head of Institutional Advancement at Boston City Campus, really just speaking to the transition from high school to tertiary institutions. Given the academic year that was 2023, what some of the expectations are, and also the options available for those who want to pursue education further. Thanks for joining us on the SABC at this hour.